Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. We have a very special guest, another lefty socialist, probably recording somewhere in the basement of the Kremlin. Richard Medhurst. Richard, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. We were trying to go live. We had some tech issues, and
It's the CIA. I'm telling you, CIA interference. No.
It's got to be, baby. The NSA, CIA, whatever. They just don't want these two guys talking. So, they're gonna try to.
I'm not even kidding.
Neither am I. I mean, look. I have it. Now, granted, I'm not the most tech savvy guy God's ever put on this earth, but I have 500 megabytes per second internet. I have the fastest internet you can get in my area, and I have a laptop. All right, it's 2.5 years old. Maybe I need a bigger, faster processor to handle all this. That could be it. Again, I'm not a tech guy, but I just dumped about 50 megabytes worth of stuff last night. I ran all these programs to clean anyway.
I mean, it's been working great until now, and then all of a sudden, when the Syrian comes along,
yeah,
we got issues. What is this?
Sorry, there's a Syrian guy. We got to shut this down. We don't want anyone to see that scarf he's got on. It's a little too Syrian-y, a little too Middle East.
Yeah, man.
So, I followed some of your stuff, man. I think it's great. You have your own channel. Tell everybody about your channel if they're not familiar with it.
Well, I mean, I yell at a camera and that's pretty much it. So, I mean, I started doing videos a few months ago, and I mean, I started like just being even more active, January, February, something like that. And well, now, yeah, people just watch my videos and I talk, and that's it. I mean, I talk a lot. I talk about everything, man, because like I talk mostly about what's going on inside the U.S. I mean, it does affect the entire planet, including the electoral politics, all the way down to the tiniest detail. And then I also talk about like what's going on in Syria, because I was born there. I'm half Syrian, so I just talk about anything, Venezuela as well. It's all related. All the imperialist bullshit that's going on, and the U.S. electoral politics, all of it. So that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I posted that graphic you put up for the task force. All the people that you're like, oh, I rewrote the task force, and you just put all these horrible people.
Yeah, like when I saw that, the first thing I thought, it was like, no, where's Henry Kissinger on this policy stuff? Like, put Hillary in there as well.
Let's get the whole gang in there. Why can't we get why can't we get all of them in there? Like, oh man, it's really so.
I'm not even kidding. Like the worst part is that I was working on the segment that I was doing about these task forces, and I'm not joking. I put in the fake one by accident, and like an hour later, I realized that it was the fake one. Like, that's how bad it is. You can't tell. This whole thing is a joke. Like, what is this unity task force nonsense? I mean, it's insulting. It really is. They take people for suckers.
They completely take people for suckers. They think, and I think they, especially on the left, and they know that the left will just take tables. The left, I mean, all Americans are in an abusive relationship with their government. Yeah. It's like living in an alcoholic household, and one parent is the Republicans and one parent is the Democrats, and they both lie and cheat and blame each other and get everybody fighting and pitting against each other.
That's it.
And this parent's better than that parent, and I'm on this parent's side, and that's all this nonsense, and it's so abusive. And
yeah, and like you said, that's a really good analogy, and it's especially egregious on the left. And there's a lot of people that are really, I mean, it's cringy. They just can't let go. They're still plugged into the matrix, and they think that, like, oh, if we just try one more time, then everything will be okay. And then they do it again. It's ridiculous. Like, have some self-respect, man. Come on.
It's unbelievable. It's literally like a friend that keeps getting into dating the same type of abusive person, and you're like, it's over. You got to stop doing this. And it's like, and the refusal of the left to acknowledge how awful Obama and Biden were for the 8 years, the refusal of that oh, the only controversy Obama ever had was his tan suit. Really,
Tan
his
suit.
tan suit? The tan suit. So the dropping more
There's
bombs
a lot
than
of
Bush.
blood on that suit. Don't
Yeah,
look so tan.
there's some, like, he wore that tan suit when he drone strike the shit out of the Middle East. Like, it's, and when you bring up these facts to them,
Oh no! How dare you? How dare you, Graham? How dare you bring up these facts?
the most you'll get is, yeah,
You're-
but I mean, he was better
You're a
than.
puppet.
Yeah, the most you'll get is, yeah, but he was better than Bush. And I go, how? I guess if you're gay, yes. If you're an American gay
On
person,
some civil liberty issues and some gay rights issues, etc. Yes, because this is the thing though. The Democrats, to sheepdog people, they'll give them a few crumbs, they'll give them like a few concessions here and there, but when it comes to really bringing forward true systemic reform, they won't do it.
no.
They will never, ever, ever do it. You are delusional. And even when it comes to like Bernie Sanders, right now there's still people who just can't let go. They're like, oh, but Bernie tried his best, and if we just do this down ballot voting, then somehow magically on November, Washington will be filled with unicorns and it will be a magical place. And are you high?
It's unreal. Like, and to me, and I said it on my show, I've been doing my show over 3 years now, and I was like, when Bernie got back into the race a little over a year ago, I said, all right, this is the last chance I'm going to give progressives within the Democratic Party, and I'm the last chance I'm going to give electoral politics. This is the last chance. And even if Bernie were to win, I mean, my good friend Ron Placone has a saying. He's like, had Bernie won, I would have celebrated for a day and then gotten him on my yellow vest. Now I'm just putting on my yellow vest earlier.
That's what I love about you guys. You just like, you're not waiting around for Washington to just magically reform itself and blindly trusting like the ballot box, which I mean the things are you all know about the electoral fraud. But like just this whole mantra of like, oh, we can blindly trust politicians and send them off into Washington and everything's going to be fine. No, man, a lot of people, they don't even know, they're like, what is the yellow vest? Like, what is direct action? Like, never heard of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you got change in the United States. That's how you got change in France. I don't mean just now. I'm talking like in the 30s as well with the Popular Front. Like this is increment. This is instrumental. It's crucial. And I mean that's what I like about you guys. You understand. Okay, yellow vest time.
Yeah, it's and I'm seeing more people sort of wake up to this, like, and I most of my friends work in show business, and Hollywood is like the epicenter of the neoliberal delusional storm. I mean, it is unbelievable. I mean, you're watching it in real time. All of these people, comedians, like female comedians that I know, were screaming 2 years ago about Believe All Women and Me Too and Time's Up. And now they're literally saying, well, I don't know if we can believe Tara Reid. Like, and
that's not the point.
It's insane. Like they don't even get it. But some of them are starting to like wake up. Yeah. And when I hear now's not the time for a revolution, I said, yeah, you're right. Every time there's been a big social change revolution, it's because things were going great. Dr. King and them, things were great for black people in the South.
Of course.
That's when they started.
That's why they had a revolution.
Yeah.
Right? This is what's insane. By the way, I do believe Tara Reid because every time there's like a little bit of evidence coming out here and there, and I mean not just a little bit. There's some really like undeniable stuff. But like every time evidence comes out, every time somebody from the past, tells a story or comes forward, it's always corroborating her side of the story, not Biden.
Yes,
always. And every time the media bring him on, to grill him, they just conveniently leave out these key details. But like going back to your main point, there's a real double standard going on, and it's just they don't understand. Like they think that we have to shut up and just not talk about this because it's uncomfortable. Because Orange Cheeto Man bad, and we just have to get Biden in, and then everything's gonna be perfect. And it's okay that he did a few bad things. No, it's not okay. He's not better than Trump. He's not like this is ridiculous. This is really a toxic mentality, and it comes from a place of enormous privilege, yeah. and it's just disgusting, man. This is just one element of it, right? There's a wide array of topics that we can talk about, and you're gonna find that a lot of these people, once again, they're like, well, I don't know, man. And a few years ago they're screaming about the same topic, and all of a sudden they're singing a different tune now. Very interesting.
Well, yeah, and again, I'm glad you talk about the privilege, because when you bring up the fact that Obama dropped more bombs than Bush, that he did all of this horrific drone striking, that's when American privilege. Well, yeah, it was bad because they didn't see it. They don't know what a drone strike looks like.
They have no clue.
They have no clue, and they didn't grow up in Syria like you or the Middle East. They don't have family back there that's telling them in real time. They're not following any Syrians or Middle Eastern journalists or just people on Twitter going, hey, look, like when I started following people like, Sarah Abdullah and other people like that, and they were telling me stuff and showing me videos from people in Syria that people in Syria were posting on social media. And I'm like, I'm not seeing this. And I'm like, oh, because we don't know what it's like. Now, I have a little idea because as a stand-up comic, I went to Iraq and Afghanistan and Kuwait. And again, I was under the protection of the United States military, but I saw what a war zone looks like. I saw the American military machine in process. And I heard soldiers telling me, so all the cooks and those jobs used to be done by the military, and now they were done by contracted. And they're just like, these people are making a lot of money doing jobs that grunts in the army used to do. And it's like, and they're like, man, and they were like, I'm making so much money. Like, I'm over here making 30 grand a year, and that contractor's doing the same job. They're making 80 or 100 or 120.
Exactly. And sometimes the grunts, like the regular military, they have to train them. Like, here, I'm going to train you so you can take my job. Like, what? You shouldn't be here. And another element to that, it's not just like the enormous sums of money that they're making for their buddies in the private sector with these contracts to the private mercenary companies like Blackwater. I think they changed their name now, whatever. But like, it's also that when these private contractors commit war crimes, they don't have to go through the regular, the army.
No.
Doesn't subject them to the same proceedings as they would a regular soldier, like court-martial war crimes proceedings. And
they have no rules of engagement. They don't have rules of engagement. They don't have to go through the military courts. I mean, military courts are pretty brutal. You're guilty until proven innocent. Like, so if the military thinks you committed a crime, you're going to have a hard time getting out of that. But the contractors do whatever the hell they want.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Abu Ghraib is just one instance where it was all of them. Make no mistake. Like, it's not just like some private contractors who waltzed into Abu Ghraib and started torturing people. No, this was done in tandem with the knowledge, with the cooperation, with the consent of the military, of the Pentagon, of the Department of Defense. The entire hierarchy is responsible. But yes, I mean, just in general, they do get away with murder, literally. And that way the army is also, it wasn't us. And, conveniently, no one faces any repercussions. Yeah, it's disgusting. And they make him bank, of course.
Of course.
Don't forget that part.
And that's the thing, too. I sit there when I bring up the fact, because I want this to resonate with Americans, especially maybe more like red state Americans, of like 22 vets a day commit suicide. And it's because they've witnessed all this awful stuff. We're asked to do awful stuff. They have PTSD. And why? Why were they doing that? Is it to make America safe? No. It's to make Halliburton and Raytheon and Boeing and ExxonMobil, to make all their stock portfolios go up. Exactly. And rich people don't send their kids to war. They never have. And the working class and the poor have to go fight the wars for the rich. And I really try to point that out to Americans, that because they want to keep us divided, distracted, and afraid. And I'm like, there aren't two. They want us red state, blue state, black, white, male, female, Christian, Muslim, whatever. They want us on all those fights because they don't want us to look at the real fight, which is the ruling class, the 1%, and then all of us.
Thank you. Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, even when you break it down in terms of borders and stuff, it's not even really about American and Iraqi or whatever. It's working class people being sent off to die and kill other working class people, and meanwhile nothing changes. for the ruling elite. I mean, even in terms of sanctions, just like sanctions, for example, who do you think gets hurt by sanctions?
Right.
You think Assad or Maduro get hurt by sanctions? No, they don't. it's the working class. It's the civilians. And so, as you said, you have 22 veterans a day committing suicide. You have a male suicide epidemic. I mean, figures range between 120, 140 men a day, and among them 22 veterans. And why? It's because they've witnessed it or they've been put into a situation where they had to do things and they get PTSD and they come back and it's awful. And then at the same time you have the civilian cost of the people in Iraq or Syria or wherever else who die. It's just awful, man. It's really awful. And like you said, the rich people, they never send their kids to war. And I mean, just look at Biden. Do you remember a few weeks ago a veteran who came and confronted him, and it's like, you sent us to kill people. He's yelling at him, and then he goes, "Look, my son also served," and just walks off. And like think about this. Think about this for a second. Joe Biden pushed for the Iraq War. He made sure that it happened, and he sent that man to fucking fight and kill people, and then he won't even give him the common decency of holding a 5-minute conversation. He walked away. I mean, that is the level of disrespect is unprecedented. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and he's like, my son served over there too, so it's just he's just like, oh, so shut up, and it's like
that's not an excuse.
Yeah, and
it doesn't mean anything.
No,
also, whenever the elites have their kids serving overseas, it's never in a frontline combat.
No way.
Make no mistake.
And well, the other thing too, there's all these ancillary negative effects on human beings and society from war. So all that PTSD, what comes with PTSD? It comes with domestic violence. It comes with, against kids, against spouses, against significant others. It comes with high drug use, all this stuff. And when you think about, so that's what we're putting our military through. Now we're talking about 90% of the casualties of Obama's drones were civilians. They were unintended targets. So, oh boy, why are these terrorists keep coming? We keep creating them. I ask Americans, I go, look, if your neighbor was running a meth lab or something like that, and let's say they were, and Mexico drone striked that meth lab to stop, it was Mexico's war on drugs, and that drone, okay, it killed those bad guys and also it killed your kid, who's riding their bike in front of that or whatever, you'd be furious.
They wouldn't be okay with that.
You wouldn't be okay with that at all.
And rightfully so.
Yes.
You shouldn't be okay with that. This is not acceptable, man. I mean, this is, it's really horrendous. The civilian, the number of civilian casualties, like I said, it's 90%. And this is mind-boggling. And just the other day, I was doing a segment on a New York Times story from 2017, and because you had a house that was drone strike, and they ended up using that footage as propaganda on YouTube to say, look, we're fighting against ISIS. No, you just killed a bunch of civilians and then used it as propaganda. And this is one family. This is one example. And this is under Obama, by the way, right? So this is this particular case was from 2017, but Obama is the one who expanded this drone strike program. That was going on for 8 years, where you had a 90% civilian death rate. This is just unacceptable. And if Iraq or Syria or Mexico or any other country did one single drone strike in America for whatever excuse, they would go to war.
It would be,
but they come in and just use these countries as their backyard.
Can you imagine if China dropped one bomb and killed one American civilian? One? I mean, if one American civilian got a scratch, we would go fucking bananas. We would go full on war with China. World War III, we would be like, load up, everyone's going. Yeah. There'd be a draft. They would get every American fired up to defend America and wave that flag. And
I mean, look what they did with that. They lost the drone in Iran, and they were furious about it a few months ago. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Shit? Like, how dare you shoot down our drone that was in your airspace?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing in Iran?
I know. That's the other thing. Like, oh, the Iranian, they overreacted. No, you were flying in their airspace. I would love to see any Iranian, any type of aircraft enter our airspace. I would love to see our reaction to that. Like, these countries don't have a right to defend themselves if we send our military in their airspace? Like, it's...
Yes, this is the power dynamic that we are living in now. You know, it's like, fuck you, we're going to do whatever we want to, and you're going to accept it.
Yeah, and
it's really that's what it is.
Again, getting back to, you know, people on the left love talking about, boy, those red state voters vote against their own interests. I say, yeah, that's true. That's true. And the ruling class uses the Second Amendment and the Bible and family values to get red state voters to vote against their own interests, to vote for people like Mitch McConnell, who doesn't give a shit about them. But the left does the same damn thing with identity politics. I mean, the refusal of the left to acknowledge how awful Obama and Biden were. The 6 million foreclosures, prosecuting zero bankers. Iceland put bank CEOs in jail. They did sweeping finance reform, so it won't happen again. We're going to have it. It's already happening. I mean, this stimulus plan is designed, this new one is designed to take away, it's the greatest transference of wealth we've ever had.
This is madness. Like, my jaw is dropping every day. Like, they're just getting away with murder. You know, they're like taking as much as money as they can and just running away with it. And everyone is okaying it. Everyone is okaying it. And just going back quickly to what you said, this refusal on the left to acknowledge how bad Obama and Biden were. Remember, Biden was in the fucking Oval Office too. He was also the vice president. He wasn't just some random cook at the White House, or, you know, the gardener, or someone who had nothing to do with the top of the executive branch. No, he was there. He took part in these decisions. And people need to acknowledge that. You can't just live in this la-la land and pretend like, oh yeah, he's so much better than Trump and he's going to restore decency. Motherfucker, what decency?
I know.
What decency is this? What are you referring to?
I know, bring back I mean, it's like Obama did all these awful things.
I'm trying not to get angry, but this shit is pissing me off. It's like I haven't seen my family in 10 years, man, because of that war. Who the fuck do you think started that fucking war? Who do you think started that war? And by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, I heard you many times talk about how they foreclosed on your home. That was under who?
Obama.
Thank you. What is this? So what is this bullshit that people are coming around telling us that, oh, there was decency and, oh, I wish we could just go back to those times. What fucking times? Maybe you were living in okay times, but a lot of people were not. Yeah.
It was great back when Obama was in, because if you were, you know, had a decent job and a college degree, it was good for you. You didn't get caught up in the foreclosure crisis. It didn't bother you. You don't live in the Middle East where people were getting bombed the shit out of every day. That didn't affect you. And Obama's tweets were polite. So what a great 8 years it was, you know, for you. I mean, you weren't at Standing Rock, where Obama said, let's see how this played out. You don't have, you know, medical issues because your water's contaminated in Flint, Michigan. And Obama did that fake drink the water thing. And it's still contaminated in Flint, Michigan. Like, still.
This is mind-boggling. I do not understand that.
And why they won't just, the left, but they're caught up in this dumb, it's my team. Like, it's this stupid, small-minded mentality of...
You see, they tell you, like, Graham, I see you and I hear you, but Orange Cheeto Man bad.
That's it.
We have to deal with him first. No, motherfucker. We have to deal with what got this amazing danger that you keep referring to into the Oval Office. No, do you not think that would be a smarter strategy? No. Orange Cheeto Man bad.
They don't want...
They're always going to give you a bigger boogeyman to justify their bullshit.
Yeah.
Always. And, you know, we just had to bomb Iraq. We just had to. Weapons of mass destruction, you know. They always have a fucking excuse. Always.
And the left, well, that's a great example. So the left screaming about how awful George W. Bush was, and rightfully so. He lied about weapons of mass destruction. He's a war criminal. And now they love him. Now they're like, oh, I wish he was back. I'd even take George W. Bush. No, I would take no war criminals. I don't want any war criminals in the White House anymore. I don't want a Clinton in there. They're pedophiles. I don't want war criminals. I don't want any of these people in there. Get out.
Immediately. Like this is absolutely ridiculous that we have to keep recycling the same pool of fucking ghouls and predators. I was like, oh yeah, well, you know, we'll take this Bush now, and maybe that you know, Clinton, and oh well, let's go back to this administration, take this guy. No, out of the way. Enough. Like enough. We don't want these people making decisions on behalf of the world. Okay, they're just evil. I'm sick of this. And like you said, this whitewashing of Bush's record. I mean, I really thought I was losing my fucking mind. I was like, this is a joke, right? Are you people insane? Were you not alive during this era? Are you nuts?
Yeah, and
I'm speechless.
It is mind-boggling because I'm literally like, and I've said to people, I go, and they're like, Graham, but Trump's so bad. I go, I heard that though. And look, I was one of them. I voted for John Kerry. Oh, he's got to be, at least he'll be better than Bush. That's what I knew back in 2004 because I wasn't paying him as much attention. And now people then are still saying that same thing. Like you can't, you got to hear yourself.
It's always going to be the same tape. Yeah, you know, like I said, they're always going to have this bigger boogeyman to justify their oppression, whatever it is, whatever it comes to. You know, it's like, oh, even when you look at the legislation, right? It's like, yeah, we'll give you a stimulus check, this $1,200, but we have to give some to the corporations, you know, $2 trillion. We have to. We just have to. There's always this necessary evil. No, motherfucker, we don't want no evil. Out of the way. We're done with this.
People make excuses for that. They still go, wow, the corporations, you got to give them, I mean, hey, and they'll give me like, wow, the corporations need money to keep the economy. What? You're defending?
Hold on. You're in the left and you're spouting that trickle-down economics bullshit. Like, hello? They don't need it.
I know.
You had the CEO of Boeing saying, like, listen, if we got to give you some of our stocks in exchange for the bailout, well, then we don't want it. Hold on a second. What do you mean you don't want it? I thought you need it. No, it's only a bailout if it suits them. You understand?
Yeah.
They don't actually need the money. This is obscene.
So
they're just robbing everyone blind.
So Richard, let me ask you this as we start wrapping up here. What do you think? I mean, obviously at the top of this we talked about direct action. I just did a video. There's over 200 labor strikes happening in America that are almost all somehow related to COVID-19. People being told to work in unsafe conditions and they're not being given hazard pay or health care or any of this other stuff. And people are starting to say, fuck this. And they're joining unions and which I keep advocating for. I mean, I'm barely following electoral politics. I watched every single Democratic debate in the last year. I watched every single one. And then after that one, March 15th, where Bernie did nothing, he blew his opportunity. And I was just like, and then he endorsed Biden. Tulsi, Bernie, the squad. I'm done with all of them. I'm done with all of them. I'm done.
Me too, man.
So
I'm done.
What do you see? What do you see, and what do you think people should be doing?
Well, look, man, it's this is an uncomfortable truth for a lot of people, but they need to unplug from the fucking matrix. Bernie Sanders is not your friend. You know, anyone who endorses a fucking war criminal, I don't want anything to do with them. If you're okay with that, then you can go and fuck yourself. I don't want anything to do with that. Okay? Same goes for AOC, for all of them. I don't care. I'm not interested in their fucking PR tour for this rapist. Next, on top of that, if you look at your own history, if you look at how you actually got real change, and by the way, when I say real change, I'm talking about the New Deal, right? FDR didn't do that out of the kindness of his own fucking heart. I don't know why people keep saying, like, oh, we need an FDR-style Democrat. What do you mean FDR-style Democrat? Someone who protects capitalism and the elites?
Yeah.
No, thank you. He only did that to shut you up. He did that to shut the communists and socialists up and then got rid of them. No, that's not what you want. But anyway, my point is the only way that was achieved was through direct action, was through people standing up, and it wasn't done with the ballot box alone. So this whole mantra that, oh, we're going to do down ballot and we're going to do, you know, another progressive like in another. No, fuck your long game. This is a losing strategy. This is a losing strategy. Like, how many more times do you want Bernie to run for president? How many knives do you need to have stuck in your back by the Democrats for you to, you know, wake up? This is not working. So you need to look at your own history. You need to look at what was done back then to achieve real change. Okay, you need a coalition of workers. It starts the bottom. You're not getting anything from Washington, D.C. They're not listening to you. You don't apply any fucking pressure. You're not a lobbyist. You don't own any fucking capital. This is true. This is true. You don't apply any fucking pressure, okay? The only way you can apply pressure is when you have mass mobilization, is when you hurt their money, because when you go on strike, now the capitalists are paying attention because you ain't producing that fucking wealth for them. And that's how you get change. So look at your history. Stop doing this nonsense electoral politics, which is not working. Okay, the Democrats won't even budge an inch, and not even an inch.
No, not an inch.
Nothing. So you need to look at your own history. You need to look at what was done back then. You had a coalition of socialists, communists, and you know, the CIO unionists, and this mass mobilization is what is going to get. That's what's going to get you change. But you know, hoping that some politician is going to go and do it for you in DC. No. It's not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening. Not when they work for one of the two big parties. The two big parties are there's this change from within. You can. It's like I'm going to join you know, I'm going to join Al Qaeda and try to change them from within. I'm going to join a Mexican drug cartel and try to change them from within.
They'll see the light, Graham.
They will.
Just give it time. Just give it time, brother.
I'm going to join Al Qaeda and I'm going to say, look, I'm going to start infusing a little Buddhism, and they're going to be down with it. They're going to be down. Eventually, they're going to be down with that, you know. And I'm just like, and I was like, maybe I should join ISIS too, but I have a better chance of joining ISIS because ISIS was created by the United States, so they would probably.
There we go.
They might be more willing to have me in them anyway. Since, but like, yeah, it's you know.
Also, I don't understand why progressives running for Congress keep anchoring themselves down by running as Democrats. Like, what the fuck? I thought you're against everything his party is doing. Why wouldn't you run as an independent? Even Bernie Sanders is an independent. Can you explain why you're running as a Democrat? No. Anyway, I'm done with that. I'm done with this electoral politics nonsense. This is ridiculous. I mean, not to mention, like, I knew better. If you take any Arab off of the street in Egypt, in Syria, wherever, everybody knows that there's no difference between Democrats and Republicans. They know this. It makes no difference who's in the Oval Office, who's in Washington D.C. None.
Right.
So man, you're deluding yourself. Come on. All these people that are like getting butthurt, like, oh, how dare you speak like that about AC and Bernie? Dude, where's Medicare for all? How dare they not give you Medicare for all? How dare they not raise your wages? Why aren't you mad at them? Get your fucking priorities straight, you moron.
Yeah. Get mad at the powerful. Get mad at these politicians who acquiesce.
Exactly.
Like the progressives who backed AOC should be furious at her. They should fucking hang her out to dry. Be like, we're done. Like, her 6.3 million Twitter followers should be screaming at her on a daily basis. First, you sold us out. You know,
Can't do that. No.
oh, it's not nice, diversity. Like, oh, it's like, again, because the people in the Middle East, boy, they felt so much better that they were being bombed by a black guy than a white guy. I'm sure your relatives were like, oh, oof, diversity.
Yes, they really enjoyed it. You know, it was quite invigorating.
Yeah, and when George Bush's bombs had an NRA thing on them, they were really mad. But when Obama's bombs had a rainbow flag, they were like, yay!
Exactly, man. You know, it was. Plus, don't forget his middle name was Singh, so this made a difference.
Yes,
a slight one.
Thank you for getting bombed by a guy that has a name that sounds like one of ours. Oh, so much better, so much better. Well, Richard, thank you so much for taking time with us today. Where can people watch your show, and how often do you do it, and all that stuff?
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You know, if you want to find me on YouTube, just type Richard Medhurst. Same on Twitter, and you'll find me. That's it, Richard Medhurst. And thanks to you for having me on, man. I've been watching your show for years. You and Lonzo Cohen and Jimmy, like, I look up to you guys so much. Like, I can't even believe that I'm on your show. Like, my brain hasn't digested it yet. So thank you for having me on, really.
Well, thanks, dude, and thanks for trying to walk me through some of the tech issues, because that.
Of course, anytime, man. The Kremlin is here to help.
Yeah, say hi to Putin for me. It was tell him next time he flies me out to Russia, at least put me in business class. I was in coach. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Throw me a bone.
I'll bring this up. To him
Bring it up in at the next Kremlin puppet meeting.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Richard, so much for being on the show. Check out Richard. So it's another great indie journalist to follow with a really good perspective. We're all out there. The reason you come to my show is to get news that you're not going to hear elsewhere. And it's like, there's all these great indie journalists. And so everybody out there watching, check out Richard's show, because he's bringing a perspective like what you said about there's relatives I haven't seen in 10 years because I can't go to Syria because this war was started by Obama. So people need to hear that. Americans, especially people on the left who like refuse to acknowledge how bad Obama was, need to hear you, a person, you're a man, you're a person who's talking to us right now, who's Syrian, born there, and cannot go visit his family. It'd be like, I'm of Irish descent, and I don't know that I might have relatives back in Ireland, but like, I got friends and family, I got friends in Europe, and what if I couldn't go visit them because we'd started bombing them? You know, I have friends in Japan, Australia.
It's horrible, man.
It's horrible.
It's like, these wars, they don't just take a toll on the people in those countries, but also it's a worldwide effect, man. It really is. And I don't know. It's just people need to hear about it. And so thanks for having me on, so I could also say that here as well. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it, man. Yeah. We got to keep this indie journalism going, because everything you're gonna hear on mainstream media is garbage. We're done with that. Seriously.
Done. And I'm done with electoral politics. Look, if they form a movement for a people's party, or they get a big ticket like Jesse Ventura, somebody, I'll get behind that. But I won't like hang my hopes on it. I mean, if they start a third party and it's labor focused, I'm down with that. I'll get behind that. But another progressive Democrat's going to beat the. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. That's
We're
great.
done, man. I'm so glad we're on the same page, because I'm sick of listening to idiots on Twitter talk about, this no. Finito.
Well, Richard, thank you so much for being on the show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And you're all making Gotham great again. Shave your knuckles for justice.
Shave your knuckles for justice.
Boom. That was awesome, brother.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button and the subscribe button, even if you've done it before, because they're unsubscribing, many of you, every day. Watch the ads all the way through. If you click skip ad, I don't get paid. Also, support us at patreon.com/GrahamElwood or rockfin.com/GrahamElwood. Rockfin.com is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. All my videos are on Rockfin ad-free. Thanks for watching.